Hey everybody, it's me, Stu Helm, the food fan, here with another exciting episode of the Asheville Food Fans podcast. And this week I am joined by my regular host, Rick Crelia, one of the greatest eaters on earth. We call him. And then we're also joined this week by our special guest host, Bruce Waller Jr. from Grind Asheville, and here to represent Black Wall Street, Asheville. And there we go. And to talk about Grime Fest and Juneteenth. And we want to hear all about that, Bruce. Save the whole last segment of the show just to dedicate all to that. We're going to suffer through the usual segments of our show.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm here for all of it.
Great. So, Bruce, did you grow up here in Asheville? Before the show, you were talking about a show you used to do back in the day and stuff.
Yeah, here in Asheville. So I'm a transplant, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys are transplant.
I'm from like Boston, so I'm the worst possible kind of person you can imagine. Where are you transplanted
from? The Blue Ridge,
from?
But yeah.
You're from Blue Ridge? Okay, so Rick, you're pretty much from here. I'm actually from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too far, 5.5 hour drive from Richmond to Asheville. And I've been here since, 2012.
Okay.
So I'm kind of new, but not new. You know what I mean? I've been acclimated with Asheville and the growth.
Well, how do you like it here?
I enjoy it. You know, Rick, Stu and Rick, I enjoy it. It grew on me. When I first came here, no lie, just real quick, funny story. When I first came here, me and my good friend, pretty much my brother, Julian, we came here and stayed with someone for like a week. And we were in Fletcher. I didn't know anything about Asheville. So I was like, this is Asheville? Like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Fletcher, sleeping in someone's basement. You know, it was a nice setup.
Sure.
But I was in somebody's house for a week, and I was like, I don't want to be here. They was like, oh, this is not Asheville. You're like 20 minutes away from Asheville.
That's really funny.
Oh, yeah.
And for people from other parts of the country that might be listening, 20 minutes outside of Asheville might as well be a different part of the world.
You know what's funny about that, though? I live in Fletcher now.
Do you? Well, it's beautiful out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's like rural.
It's very different.
Kind of middle of nowhere-ish.
I'm in Candler, so I'm exactly 20 minutes from the heart of downtown. So
there you go. Things
go.
change quickly. You drive outside of Asheville, boom, there's like trees everywhere and farms and stuff. And
I love the greenery.
Yeah, me too. I love it. I love it here. It's a wonderful part of the country, and I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I want to mention that we're being hosted by WPVM 103.7 FM, the voice of the mountains. We're broadcasting from Asheville, North Carolina, in the western part of the state where there are mountains. Now, Bruce, you were in some serious mountains recently, eh?
Oh my God. You know what's funny? You know what's funny, Stu? Like, I thought these were mountains, but when I saw real mountains, I was like, oh, these are hills. I didn't know that. I didn't really know that until like it was a couple of years ago when I really found it out. But I thought that the longest time that I lived here, I thought that Asheville, I said, these are mountains, y'all. They was like, my wife was like, Bruce, you haven't seen any mountains. Wait till I take you to Colorado, which was like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. And I saw him and I was like, all right, bow down. Colorado.
These are mountains,
Beautiful mountains.
Yeah, like tall and like these mountains around here, you can like walk up them, right? Like you can be like, take a day and walk up this mountain. There you go.
And technically, these mountains were taller than the Rockies.
Back in the day.
These are the oldest mountains in the world, the Appalachians.
I heard they were like the oldest mountains. Are they considered mountains or hills? I'm not really sure about that.
They're still considered mountains.
Okay, they are technically mountains. I thought they were, but then when I saw them, I was like, these are hills. So I was
no, people from the Rockies will call these mountains hills, and they'll make fun of us because we call them mountains and stuff.
Okay,
but these are as Rick said, the oldest in the world, and they've been through some stuff. They've been worn down.
Survivors.
They've had a couple of glaciers rub over them, as far as I know. Like, for real, they've been ground down and stuff. I love them. Give me a mountain I can walk up. I'm not one for like throwing ropes and driving nails into the side of a cliff and scaling up a mountain.
Yeah,
it's a little extreme for me. But I've actually been to the Alps. I traveled to the Dolomite Mountains, and they were unreal. Like from a obviously from a movie, because they get filmed in a lot of movies. But dang, those are mountains, like icy peaks, and they've been like habitated for a long time. So there's all kinds of weird vehicles that take you up the side of the mountain and stuff.
Wow.
And it'd be like a little village up there.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
All right, let's talk about chicken wings.
Okay.
Let's talk about chicken wings.
You know, chicken wings are my favorite. I love, oh my God. I will eat chicken wings any day of the week.
All right. You're officially in the club then, Bruce. You said the magic words. You're in the club. We'll show you the secret handshake later and everything. Well, it just goes, what is it, Rick? Wings up.
Wings up. Wings up.
There you go. Well, that's fantastic. Did you eat any chicken wings this week?
Yes, I ate them at Havana Grill. That's funny that you asked. I'll try chicken wings pretty much anywhere. I actually tried some, surprisingly, it was so amazing here in Asheville. Are you aware of the Cowboy Wings? I think they're at Juicy Lucy's. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not heard of their wings.
I've heard of Juicy Lucy's, but I haven't heard their wings.
Oh my God.
All right. Cowboy Wings, Juicy Lucy's.
Dude and Rick. All right.
Getting a pen.
We gotta go, or something. Like, you have to go. It was called the Cowboy Wings. One of my good buddies told me this was sometime last month, the month before last, when he was like, Bruce, on your lunch break, make sure you go try these Cowboy Wings. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they're called Cowboy Wings at Juicy Lucy's. I go to Juicy Lucy's for the hamburger,
right,
or for the gyro, the gyro. I go for stuff like that, and I love Juicy Lucy personally. I love their burgers,
good.
But I didn't know about the wings. Oh my God, that was great. And then the wings I tried in Colorado Springs were at Havana Grill, which is a Cuban restaurant, and they were muy bueno. They were good too.
That's fantastic. So were they done in a special Cuban style, or were they just busting out some buffalo wings? Or
I think they had a Cuban sauce. I forgot the name of the sauce, but it was pretty good. I didn't get too many. You know what I mean? I think we were out watching. It was karaoke night, and I sung Michael Jackson, "Human Nature." So I was trying to get my belly ready, and I can do a mean Michael Jackson. Oh,
yeah. We're gonna ask you to do that someday, Bruce. We have to have you come on in character for the whole hour. So that sounds great. I mean, that's great. A recommendation locally for the wings at Juicy Lucy's.
Yes.
And a recommendation for all of our audience that's listening in Colorado. I know we have thousands, if not millions, of people listening in Colorado. Wow. I'm joking, of course. I'm happy to have 10 people listening here in Asheville. But yeah, so all right, and some Cuban style wings. Now there's a Cuban restaurant here in Asheville called Hemingway's Cuba.
Really?
It's a rooftop bar at the Hotel Cambria, the Cambria Hotel. And it's not quite the rooftop. There's a few more floors after it, but it's a big balcony. And I've had the food there. I didn't notice if they had wings or not. It was before we were on this massive wing jag that we started during the COVID year. But I've had their food, and it was real good. So I'll have to see if they have any special Cuban-style wings.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. I most definitely want to go there.
Okay. And Rick, what about you? You told me in pre-show you had some wings. Is that
true? I had 2 different wings. Nothing new. Some old favorites. I did the Siam wings from Thai Pearl.
Nice.
Which is always a nice wing. Really crispy, chewy, hot. Yeah, not buffalo, just Thai hot. So
Yeah.
and then we got pizza from Galactic last night, and we got their wings, and they do really nice buffalo wings, like just really solid buffalo wings. So
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Galactic, one of your. It is always a bad idea to show up to our show hungry. In fact, one famous episode, Rick showed up hangry.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I laid down the law after that. I was like, you got to eat before you come on the show, brother. So, yeah, it's always a bad idea because obviously you're just going to talk about food for an hour.
Yeah. This is so good, yeah. Do you eat on the show, Stu and Rick? Do y'all eat?
Do we eat on the show?
Like
I've
try
taken
it?
a bite of a chicken wing, but I'm not a fan of watching people eat on camera. Like, I think there's something kind of gross about that.
Yeah.
So even when I took a bite of the chicken wing, I was like apologetic about it and stuff.
Have y'all seen the show where they one of the guys interviews like celebrities?
Yeah.
And they eat wings and they like hot wings.
Oh yeah.
And they
That's
get
great.
hotter.
That is so funny. I love that.
Yeah. That's very funny.
Yeah.
And just to take it to the nth degree, there's a whole genre of YouTube videos of people eating massive amounts of food and like tons and tons of sushi, like incredible amounts, and it's usually like a young woman doing it, and like no voiceover, no nothing, just like weird.
The sounds of eating.
No,
The sight of it too, of like huge octopus legs going down.
Wow.
Yeah, like look it up.
I have.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Yes. So you know what I'm saying.
Yes, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Totally
it's one of the
crazy.
craziest things on the internet, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm going to look for this now.
Yeah, please do, Rick.
Okay, so Rick, you had some good wings. Bruce, you had some good wings. I had 2 wings, not 2 different kinds of wings, just exactly 2 wings. And they were attached to a whole chicken that I ate from Nani's rotisserie chicken. But I did very intentionally this week pull off the wings and set them aside. And I had like myself a chicken dinner with all the sides and everything. And then later on, I reheated those 2 little old chicken wings and I ate them exclusively so that I would feel like I was eating chicken wings. And they were excellent, man. I got the piri-piri style chicken, and so a little bit spicy. And they rotisserie the life out of those chickens, man. Like those chickens don't stand a chance. And so the meat was just falling right off the bone. And just, there's a certain kind of chicken wing where you can almost literally cartoon style it, like that.
Yeah.
And all the meat comes right off the bone and ain't nothing left in your hand but a bone. And these were just about like that. So they were excellent. And then I'll just launch right into where'd you eat and what'd you cook, because I ate this fantastic dinner from Nani's rotisserie chicken, which comes with 4 sides and a salad, and it's a ton of food.
Oh my God.
And it's one of my biggest recommends for this whole year since they opened up last November, I believe. And they do it 2 different kinds.
I'm gonna have to pick your brains too.
Yeah, we can talk anytime you want, Bruce. I'm full of recommendations.
Not rotisserie.
Well, the news. The big news is that Nani's has a new menu they're about to release on Tuesday. So if you're in love with the current menu, get it. Like, get it now. But the new menu isn't going to be radically different. It's all based around the rotisserie chickens. It's just different sides that are more summertime sides. So if you liked your potatoes au gratin,
They're still going to have that flatbread.
yes.
Good.
Yes.
Oh God, that's so
The
good.
flatbread is unreal. I got the munchies late last night, and I just toasted a bunch of the leftover flatbread and just ate it like just on its own, like snack crackers or something. It was great. I almost dropped an F-bomb right there, right then and there. That's how good this bread is.
Man, man, that sounds so good. That's amazing.
And so, I want to just tell the world, get your potatoes au gratin before they drop from the menu. But they are not going to drop the savory corn pudding, which I'm going to say is one of the best sides out there right now. Like right now, I'm giving it a nomination for side dish of the year. Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
At Nani's?
Nani's, yep.
Yeah.
Everything I've had there has been so good. I haven't had anything that I was like, whatever, live without that.
Yeah, everything's well cooked.
I love
All
that.
right. Let me see. I ate a few other places that I'll mention, and then I'll hand it over to you guys. And I, much like Rick, I didn't do much that was new this week. I did the Malvern. I got delivery. I got that Crunch Burger, and the Crunch Burger is real special because it's got a tostada shell in the mix. So it's like a regular burger with a tostada shell there for the crunch.
Oh, wow.
And it's got like pickled jalapenos, so it's like kind of leaning in that direction. It's not like full on, I'm a Mexican style burger, but it's kind of leaning in that direction. And it's one of my nominees for Burger of the Year, as a matter of fact, my first nominee for that. And so that was delicious. And I kind of messed up because I ordered chicken nuggets and then I ordered the buffalo chicken mac and cheese. Which basically just is covered in those chicken nuggets. So I had a lot of chicken nuggets. But like, I ain't complaining. I'll eat chicken nuggets for breakfast, lunch, and dinner until they're all gone.
Chicken nuggets are great.
Yeah. And the mac and cheese was excellent. So Malvern crushing it. And I also ate at, Homegrown. And that's no surprise. I eat there pretty often. Yeah, homegrown. So good. The fried chicken. I got a fried chicken sandwich, and I got grits. Their cheesy grits are some of the best in town, in my opinion. Now, they're kind of salty for those of you who are not that into the saltiness, but I like a lot of salt, so cheesy grits for me. And what else I get? Oh, I got just a big old ball of their pimento cheese with some flatbread and stuff. And I was craving some pimento cheese, and I didn't feel like going to the grocery store, so I just ordered it as a side. And that's where I ate. And as far as what I cooked, zero things. I reheated things. Yeah, I reheated a few things, and that's literally it.
Do you cook, Stu?
I do, and I enjoy cooking, and I'm pretty good at it. Like the few things that I know how to cook, I can also wing it a little bit. But, I've got a job to do, and I take it seriously to eat at all the restaurants. And so poor me, I don't have a lot of time left over to cook. So
I understand that.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. And I did just buy some groceries today. Oh, I have a prop, actually. I bought groceries today, and I've been talking about these dang organic Pringles. Like they're not Pringles, they're a different brand, the Good Chip, but they're like essentially like exactly like a Pringle. Like
pretty much. Yeah.
There is zero difference between this chip and a Pringle. Here you go, Bruce.
Thanks, man.
And they're awesome. And I'm a Pringles fan, like huge fan. I don't buy a lot of commercial brand food. I really don't. I usually try to buy organic brands and local brands and stuff. But I'll be buying a thing of Pringles every time I go to the grocery store. But once I discovered my organic Pringles, now I'm set for life. And I'm not even kidding, this will end up being my dinner. Like, because I'll just
oh yeah, it looks like happens. That can happen.
The whole tube, it'll be like, So
I've been there.
I brought a prop to what'd you cook and where'd you eat, and it's not something I cooked, and I didn't have to go anywhere to eat it. So there we go.
Yeah,
that's great.
All right, Bruce, do you want to do, or did we already do you, Bruce? Where'd you cook?
Places that I've been to eat and I cooked.
Yeah.
I didn't cook anything because this week I was in Colorado. My wife is Korean. She's Korean and black, but her mom is like total, like she's Korean, and my wife grew up Korean, and they do a lot of Korean dishes. So all this week I have been eating greens and these type of noodles. I don't even know what they call them. It's just been interesting dishes. But they all were so tasty and healthy, and they were really good. And I can see my wife's mom, she is, most definitely close to 60, but she looks young. She
Uh-huh.
looks very, very young, and she's fit. And she don't work out. She says just her diet and her staying active. So
there you go.
my wife has introduced me to a lot of different foods because my wife is bomb.com at cooking.
Really?
She the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Some Korean dishes and some soul food, like a mixture of both. And she has different infusions. I think when I got married, I think I was like 215, 210. And when I got married and she cooked, I think I gained like 20 pounds.
Is that right?
I'm still trying to get rid of it. I got rid of 10 of them.
Good for you, Bruce.
Good, yeah. But we didn't cook anything at all. My baby girl, Patience, she turned 1 year old. 1 year, May 30th.
Congrats.
So we were out there for that, and they do a tradition to where they do like all of this amazing food and they display it out. It's like a big thing. Like they display it all out there and give people the opportunity to eat together. And so. Yeah. Like I wish I had a picture to show you if it can be clear, but it's like it was totally like a whole setup, and she dresses up.
Cool.
It's fun. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's very cool. I like that a lot. I used to go. There was a Korean restaurant right downtown called Korean House, and it's no longer. I don't know if you know that it's not here anymore. It didn't.
I know. I found out by trying to go 2 different times to find out that it wasn't open because my wife loved it. And when I told her about it, someone told me, and I went and I said, "Babe, I know you like Korean food or Asian dishes, so let's go try this little." Like the buffet, it was great. Like like $10-$12.
Yes,
and and like 6-7 different dishes and some sides. And it was on and popping. Like I was like, "Let's eat here."
I agree.
It is affordable. It was great. So I'm sad to see them go.
I agree with every word you just said, Bruce. Every single word of that is just on point. Like. It was a great little restaurant. The buffet was great. The price was right. And I brought it up in particular because I used to go in there with food tours every Saturday. I would bring my brunch tour in there, and we would get the bulgogi bibimbap with the egg on top. It's a beautiful brunch dish. And usually when you go into a restaurant with a food tour, you get a nice little sample, like ain't nothing to sneeze at. It's nice, But when we would go into the Korean restaurant, it was like this spread of all of the little dishes that came with it. And sometimes they would just be like, "We brought you more." And they would lay out even more food. And it would be enough food that the customers, the people on the tour could have been like, "Well, that was enough food for the day," And we would still have like 5 more stops to go on the tour. And I learned, and I got to be, friends with the staff there. Some of them Korean, some of them Caucasian, and I really got to feel like how important generosity was to the Korean owners. Like they were so there we go.
This is the picture.
Look at all that.
That was in Colorado. Can you see that?
I can see that. That's great.
It was amazing.
Wow, that's pretty styling, man.
I mean, you have all type of stuff there. It was so good. And I could not keep my hands off it in the process of making it. She was like, no. I was like, "Okay, Mama Ching. Okay, I'll step away." She said, go. I was like, "Yes, ma'am." It was so great.
That's fantastic. I said in pre-show, I wouldn't have cooked all week either if I had somebody making me Korean food all week. Yeah. Well, you had one of the best Where'd You Eats ever. That might be our best one ever, Bruce. And Rick, what about you? What kind of lame stuff did you eat?
Oh man, I don't want to talk about it.
No,
let's see. I did. Where to eat? I did obviously Thai Pearl through Kickback, and
thank you.
Man, I got a curry dish there that was it's actually stir fry Secret Wife, and I got it.
Wife.
It's already double spicy,
so
and
good.
I missed that part, and so I ordered it 4 stars. It took me 3 days to eat it, man. But I finished it all. And I probably lost some weight, but yeah.
through sweat.
But,
Where was this?
Full body voiding of all heavy metals and everything gone.
Totally. But I love hot Thai food. That's like my favorite food. So there you go. And it was my girlfriend was away for the weekend, so it was my way of being like bachelor because she doesn't like spicy food. So I'm like, okay. So.
And you really took it to the limit there.
Yeah, and then let's see.
Where was that place at? My bad. Where was that place?
Thai Pearl. It's in West Asheville on Haywood.
Okay.
Right where it's where the Nantahala Brewing last was, and the Anchor, I think. So next to. What's it next to? It's next to ISIS. So. But yeah, so good. They opened right before the pandemic started last year. Yeah. And they are, I lived in the Pacific Northwest for 17 years and I love Thai food, and it's some of the best Thai food I've ever had. The chef was a chef on the staff of the Royal Palace in Thailand. So it's very good.
Yeah, she's got credentials, man.
Chef May, but really good and affordable. So.
It is indeed. I asked one time for her full name so that I could use it in a written piece, and it has a lot of syllables.
Yes.
Yeah.
And consonants without vowels between them.
If you've ever seen a really long Thai name, they get pretty long, man. Yeah. And so everybody just calls her Chef May.
Yeah. And then let's see what else.
Super nice.
Galactic Pizza, of course. Go Candler. And then yesterday for lunch, Jamie at Sandhill Kitchen had a fried green tomato BLT on focaccia with her homemade sides. I got the chips. And let me tell you, man, just stupid good. Pimento cheese, bacon, a nice, I can't remember exactly what was in the sauce, like a garlicky, cheesy sauce. And then the fried green tomatoes, and they were just superb. Leslie's my girlfriend's not a big tomato fan, and I got one for her, and she was just blown away. She was just like,
I love fried green tomatoes. They're so good.
She was like, Jamie can cook anything. And I was like, I think so.
She's a very good cook.
And so that was it for eating out. Didn't really eat out much. And then I made a smoked and reverse seared tri-tip roast on the smoker, and then that lasted a few meals, and I made a new big batch of hickory smoked bacon today. So
you're going to be just as generous with this new batch of bacon as you were with the last batch of bacon, Rick?
Probably so.
Oh boy, I was actually not trying not to get my hopes up. I was like, I probably have tasted.
Yeah, I got to save more than I did. I filled a lot of orders last time, and I didn't get one order delivered that I should have. So I'm working on it. But.
Take care of the other people first, Rick. So
yeah, dude, you're at the top of the list. Whatever.
Okay, all right, I like that. Screw everybody else. That's even better. I like the way you think.
So anyway, that's it. That's all I got. So
that was great. You ate out, you cooked things. It's like you did it all, Rick, and you even ate chicken wings. You're the glue holding this whole episode together. So
man, tell me about it. Can I get a raise?
We'll double what we're paying you now. All right. Well, let's do the food news. I wrote a new theme song for the food news, Rick.
We do need one.
That was it. It goes do. And so the big news, the big nationwide news is the black cloud looming over our heads of the meat crisis that's coming, because it should just be a short little meat shortage, and meat prices are going to go through the roof for a little while, and that is because of another cyber attack, much like the one on the pipeline that resulted in all the gas lines. There was a major cyber attack by another named criminal group. I forget what they're called, something like are evil or something. They've got a name, and they did a cyber attack on what was the name? JBS, the biggest
big box meat producer.
Yep.
So
meat processing, meat packaging, meat shipping, the whole shebang, out of Texas, I believe. And so put the kibosh on that for a couple of days. Now, JBS says it's all good and the hack is all over and things are going to get back to normal. But, I'm always updating people's menus for kickback. So I'm always in tune to prices. And the price of ribs, ding, 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 just went up. And so ribs, get them now before the new menus might come out next week with rib prices all different and stuff. Some of the rib menus, the prices changed today.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. And but one of the people who's a restaurateur told me that it's temporary raise in the price of our ribs. A lot of places around here, like, ribs are bread and butter for them. So, not to mix metaphors or whatever. Ribs are bread and butter. God, I hope not. I hope they're still ribs. And so that's that. Like, that's the big national food news. Is just I hope that there's not lines for meat the way there was for gasoline, because I don't drive a car, so those lines didn't affect me. But I sure do like some meat, so those lines would affect me very much.
Did the same people, Stu, that came that hacked the gas line? Were they in Texas as well? Maybe I misread that, or
well, the people who did the hack are located in Russia. It's the meat packing folks that are in Texas. I think
they got.
I think you're right. I think it's a different hacker group from what I read. So
yeah, that last hacker group, and I forget they had a name too, equally stupid name, and they actually, after that hack, and they got paid like
they closed up shop.
They closed up shop, and they said we can't access our accounts anymore, and we can't access our money anymore. And so I don't know what that means.
I think that means they called in rich. So there's probably like 3 kids. It's probably like 3 dudes, and they took that money and they said, "Oh, we're out. We can't get our stuff," and then they just disappeared. Yeah. So they're going off buying an island in the Pacific or something.
I like the way you think, Rick. See, because the way I think, it's like 50 guys that have some backing from Vladimir Putin in the form of you're not going into the gulag today if you hack this meat industry.
And that could easily be the case too. That could easily be the case too.
Yeah. They do say, the news is saying that the groups are not affiliated with the Russian government, but that the Russian government notoriously gives them safe harbor, and that they operate out of Russia and the Ukraine.
Got it.
We got real far away from food news with that, but it is all related to this hack on the meat industry, which I do hope isn't going to affect us too much. There's a lot of gloom and doom these days about the chicken wing shortage, for one thing, which is terrible, and chicken wing prices are still going up, and just other shortages that are worrisome. The ketchup packet shortage, which I don't think was all that bad. I think that was grossly exaggerated by myself as well as others. And other food news is that the S&W is going to open on June 11th for the food court that's inside. And it's going to have a fried chicken stand run by Chef Elliot Moss from Buckston Hall, and it's going to have a hot dog stand run by the folks from Farm Burger. And Farm Burger actually makes their hot dogs in-house, so it should be excellent hot dog stand. And other food and sundries, I'm not sure, but I'm going to the press opening. Thank you very much. I got the invite to that, so I'll be checking it out before any of y'all get a chance to. And
he's always like this, Bruce.
I see. I'm like, dang, I want to be where you
kills me every time.
I don't get paid, so I just gloating is the only payment, I guess. And the auditorium now has food. The auditorium is notorious sort of just a bar with a stage, and they would do all kinds of crazy cabaret and stuff like that, and just kind of the bar crowd, like the drinking crowd. And good people run it. You know, I haven't been for years myself because I stopped drinking, but just a fun dive bar type of place. And this dude named Ben Hester has been working there, and Ben used to run the kitchen over there at Todd's Tasties. And so he decided to open up and start selling food out of the auditorium. So I got to go check that out. So Rick, I was actually going to recruit you to see if you would give me a ride over to the auditorium. You and I can get some bar food together.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
All right. So that's my food news. And Bruce, do you have any food news? Oh no, we're saving Bruce for last because
Bruce has got a lot of news.
Yeah, we're gonna just transition right into all of Bruce's news. So Rick, I know you have a couple of tasty pieces.
Yeah,
of food
let's see. So I saw, and this was this afternoon. I saw both of these. Buckston Hall is shutting down after Sunday for. They described it a few weeks, maybe a month, while they retool and do some things differently with their smoking equipment and retool their menu. And then really excited to see what happens there. And then, of course, the other one was Chef Stephen Goff from Oxbar, formerly, and the Brine House crew. He has become the new executive chef at Jargon in West Asheville. Jargon is one of my absolute favorite restaurants, and I'm very excited to see what happens with that too.
That's very big news about Chef Stephen at Jargon, and I had heard that a few days ago from like a mutual friend, and they told me that Stephen had told them like a little while ago that he was done being a restaurant owner. He just wanted to be an executive chef. But in this town, there's actually not a lot of opportunities to be the executive at somebody else's restaurant. Most of the high-end restaurants are restaurant owner chef, or they've already got an exec. So he was kind of thinking that he wouldn't find anything. And man, Jargon is just such a good fit for him because Sean Piper, the owner of Jargon, he's a true blue restaurateur. Like, he's not a chef. He doesn't cook. I don't even know if he knows how.
Perfect. Yeah.
But he's like the consummate restaurateur that he's there on the premises, greeting the guests, touching tables. Back in the day, I don't know if he still does, but he used to expedite. He would stand in front of the window where the food would come out of the kitchen, and he would add little touches to it, and then he would bring it to your table sometimes or pass it off.
Put some crudité on the plate.
Crudité! We forgot to talk about crudité when we did our chicken wing thing. It's too late now, Rick. You brought up the crudité a little too late. But yeah, and he would assemble the amuse-bouche, which I love a restaurant that has an amuse-bouche, and he would put that together and bring it over to your table too. So I hope it's a good match. I mean, they're two of my favorite people in town, and Stephen. I personally think Stephen's food exemplifies sort of a certain Asheville aesthetic of like hipster food with good ingredients, or I'm not articulating that very well, but I love Stephen's food. Let me just put it that way. So I'm glad that he's Jargon. And
everything at Ox was amazing. So
Ox Bar, R.I.P. to Ox Bar, because they were one of the first casualties of the COVID year. But we wanted to just mention, and kind of a more serious topic, that Rick, you went to the Westville pub after.
Oh yeah.
After they had a horrible event happen there, just the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah, last weekend, sound like maybe some patrons got into an argument, and then there was a shooting, and one of them died, and other people got shot and went to the hospital. It was bad. It was late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So they were closed Saturday. I spent a lot of time at the Westville when I lived in West Asheville for a year, and so I made a point to go there on Sunday and show them some love, Yeah. And they were remarkably. You would have never known that they were doing a great job with it. So
terrible. Like the absolute worst thing possible to happen. Like what could be worse than that? And they are kind of an icon over there in
They are.
West Nashville. So it's good that people turned out, people such as yourself, Rick, who turned out to show them some love, because there might be some propensity to stay away after that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not
There was
go
lots
to
of
the
folks there too, so it was good.
Yeah. So, geez, that kind of stuff touches the food industry every once in a while here in Asheville. Something like that happens, usually in a bar. I remember there was I don't want to dwell too much on this kind of stuff, but there was multiple stabbing not that long ago in a bar, or a couple of years ago, I think it was. But it's always terrible when violence touches our food community. But such is life in the crazy world we live in. Rick, thank you for going there, and thanks for
Sure.
bringing it up on the food show, and just tell our audience to show some love to the Westville Pub. Now, speaking of showing love, let's transition from sad things to happy things, and let's talk to Bruce about. I want to know all about Grime Fest and what y'all have going on for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
But first, let's not assume that the audience, everybody listening, knows what Grind is. And so tell us about Grind, and you're a co-owner of Grind, and just give us a little bit of history of Grind and then launch right into Grime Fest.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, it's it's funny that Grind was actually opened up in the middle of the pandemic, September last year.
Yep.
So this year we'll be celebrating our first year. So it was an amazing just ride just to see the support that came out on the day of the opening, which is funny too, because Hackett, the other co-owner, he was celebrating his birthday on the same day that we opened.
I remember.
It was like a birthday celebration and grand opening. And so it was like party, and at the same time, we get some coffee and pastries and whatever else you got behind the bar.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. So Grind is our is a co-worker, of course a coffee shop, we co-working space, event space. So we are offering is a true dynamic. Literally, it is a place where people come, entrepreneurs from every arena are coming in there to work. Students and professionals are all there at one time to grab a coffee and pastry to go, or they're there to work and meet and connect. And the focus is to build community hubs. So if you ever look at our mission statement, or if you ever seen on our website, which is @grindevl.club, it is saying that coffee is our unifier. That is the beginning. That coffee is our unifier to start, grow, build, expand Black businesses and to revive Black Wall Street. And we are welcoming everybody that is a part of the business industry, just business, or the entrepreneurship network in Asheville. We're saying we are welcoming all to celebrate with us and to also be a part of an amazing community. So Grind is a true dynamic. It is very unique, and it has morphed into something beautiful. Just to be a part of such a phenomenal process to where we were to where we are now. It is because of the people and what they make it, how they critique it. Because I'm really big on hearing what people want, and I give them what they want through our business concept. So yeah, that's what Grind is. We have our coffees, and we have our pastries, and we partner with different vendors to accomplish all of that. So all the things that we have in there, it is the good local providers in the area that makes our special blend coffees, that gives us the delicious pastries from Rhubarb, coffee from Dynamite Roasting.
Yeah.
I love those guys. To Cerilia, Timothy. Have you heard of them yet? Have you heard of them?
The tea company? Yes.
Yeah, I love them. So we provide a few different products in there, but I think the focus is that we are offering a community. We are offering true customer service and letting people feel like they have a place that they can come and take refuge and to decompress or be there and have a good time. And we have games. I mean, it's just really a true community hub.
Cool.
So well, that's a little bit about Grime.
That's fantastic, man. And you're right in my neighborhood. I live just a few blocks away from Grind, and I'm just gonna say, personally, the coffee is banging. Like you're You have a special blend that Dynamite made for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dynamite blend for us. I don't know all the details about it. You know what's funny? Like, I drink coffee, but I'm not a really big coffee drinker. But I do drink it. It's yeah. And nor does Hackett.
Hackett's the one that's into the coffee.
I love coffee in the sense like I would drink it. I probably didn't drink it in about a week or so, but I used to drink it often. So I was an avid coffee drinker at some point in time, and then I kind of slowed down, especially when you have all the coffee at your fingertips.
Tell you what,
you just slow it down. And I actually was feeling that caffeine. I was like, let's slow it down.
That's for real. That's no joke.
Yeah.
I worked in a cafe when I was younger, and we could drink all the coffee we wanted. God. And so I did, and then I'd be like out of my mind for the second half of the shift.
Absolutely, totally out of my mind. Like,
you frenzied. Like later on, you think about yourself in that state of mind, and you're like, "Who was that person?" But Hackett's the one that's into the coffee.
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay,
at all. He's good. Hackett is good at a lot of the business part of it as well.
Okay.
I'm really good at like the marketing and community and like how we build our brand and how we build our community, our teams. Like I'm good at those pieces. So me and Hackett work really well together, and we have done other business ventures together. So you have one, you know what I mean, that's really into some of the legalities and researching those pieces. I'm really good at making the aesthetic and making sure that everything operationally runs well, from top to bottom, and making sure people feel good and information disseminated and people are galvanized and mobilizing around what we're doing. So it works out really well. But we have people that are experts in coffee, like our lead barista, Becca. She is phenomenal. She actually came up with some new drinks that we put on the menu that she recommended. And so it really is inclusive. Our baristas take pride in working there, and they truly contribute to ensuring that that every drink that comes across their hands is top notch. Not knowing that we were ranked number 3 in North Carolina, the best coffee shop in North Carolina.
That's right.
Wow. Strange Foods. I don't know if you heard of them.
I did. I saw that all over Facebook.
Yeah, somebody nominated us and they voted for us. We didn't even know until like the last end of it. That's great. I think I promoted it for one day, but people were already voting for us. I asked Hackett, "Did you do that?" He was like, "No." Did you do that? And I was like, "I don't know anything about it." But it's just
people did it.
That shows up.
Yeah, the people.
Well, that's a sign you're doing something right, huh?
Yeah,
trying, Rick. You know.
And I'll give a shout out to your pastry case because I'm a huge fan of the Roux and John Fleer's pastries, and his pastry chef is named Kaylee Laird. And man, you carry this thing called the galette that they make from the Roux. The galette, dude. It's like one of the best things in Asheville.
Yes, it is. It is phenomenal. We have carried a few different types. One of the ones I loved, I can't remember. It was like pumpkin, like some type of.
I had that one.
Oh my God! It was mixture. What was it in there, Stu?
It was like a pumpkin pie galette or something.
Galette, something like that.
And it was like
a Thanksgiving type thing. It was so good.
It was so perfect. And I remember at the time I was like, I don't know. Like, it was the only one in the case, right? So I was like, all right, I'll take it, you know. And I was like expecting to be kind of iffy on it, and it was so good. Like, I tried to make it last. That's how good it was. You know? Cutting it into pieces and just eating one piece at a time and stuff. Yeah. All right, let me keep an eye on the clock because I'm terrible at that. So we've got about 10 more minutes.
That's perfect.
And so let's hear about Grime Fest and what all you got. A ton of stuff going on for Juneteenth weekend. So try to pack as much of it in as you can, Bruce, and try to focus on the food aspects if you can, because I know you got some really cool food stuff coming up.
You know, we do got a few vendors that are coming out there in the seafood. Yeah, absolutely.
You got that boil going on.
It's going to be so good. Chef Clarence. Oh my God.
Tell us all about Chef Clarence. I actually don't know anything about Chef
Oh
Clarence.
my God, dude!
I know.
Are you going? Are you aware of the chow chow that happens
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a part of that one that's coming up soon. So
Oh, good.
he's been, so you can always go and taste his food.
Okay.
Clarence, I actually been working with Clarence for a long time in different functions with food things. And I always use his services. He's actually going to also be over at the Soundscape. They're going to be opening up the Rabbit's Motel, or reopening it back with the Soul Kitchen.
Yeah.
That's with Soundscape, and they're going to be having his own kitchen in there in honor of the history that took place in Asheville of blacks owning that hotel. And at one point in time, they had phenomenal foods and that they offered to celebrities, to people, because at that point in time, people had a green book, and any business that was in town that was of color, they could stay there comfortably. So any celebrity will come and stay at the Rabbit's Motel in Nashville. So I love what the team is doing over there of reviving it and bringing it back to its original glory of what it was.
Yeah.
So the Grime Fest is a 3-day event. It is commemorating not just Juneteenth, but the Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street and the Black Wall Streets that had taken place all over the United States. And so we were thinking, me and Hacker were sitting one day in the grind, and like I always tell this story, but if you saw us, we had all these pieces of single papers out and trying to figure out what we was going to call this event. And so, we grind coffee, people are on the grind as entrepreneurs. We thought it was real great to debut grind and the entrepreneurs and the business network that is a part of Black Wall Street. So, because every Saturday we do a Black Wall Street marketplace where there are some Caribbean foods in there that are shared. They are so good. Millicent is phenomenal with the Caribbean foods and the Jamaican foods. To chocolates, to beauty products, all the things that you can think of will be in that place. So we just took Grime Fest and we said we're going to take our cohort of Black Wall Street and debut them to the world. And so when we came up with Grime Fest, it was just like it's a 3-day event, and we didn't know it was going to have so much momentum of having Buncombe County getting behind us, because they commemorated Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the freedom of slaves. Back in 1865, they made it a holiday in Buncombe County, and they was like, "Hey, it's a paid holiday now. It is an official holiday in Buncombe County."
Way to go, Buncombe County.
Yeah,
the county really stepped up last year.
Yes.
Did that happen last year, or is that like
this happened this year, Rick?
This year, 2021.
Yes.
The county surprised me.
They called us and say, "Hey, we want to take this event you're doing, and we want to stamp it." So they sponsored it.
That's awesome.
Explore Asheville sponsored it, and a few other food networks sponsored it. I mean, we had like 30, 40 sponsors. Everybody's sponsoring it. And it's a total free event, 3 days of fun, from main stage performances to vendors on the street to food trucks. I mean, it's going to be a galore of all types of goodies out there. You got lip sync battles, and of course, we're going to be open at the coffee shop giving out specialty drinks. They're going to be delicious, and we're going to have to buy a ton of rhubarb. Like rhubarb has to bake at least 2,000 goods.
Better get a lot of galettes.
Yeah, a lot of galettes.
There you go.
What's funny is actually one of our best sellers. So you are actually totally accurate.
It's phenomenal. They make them in all flavors throughout the year, different seasonal ingredients, and some are savory, some are sweet. Usually they're both excellent. They're always both excellent. I've never had a bad one. They change it up a lot. So
yeah. And then so that's Friday. We having a poetry slam. Saturday is an all-day event, from vendors to food trucks to main stage to DJ to lip sync.
Where's the setup at? Is it right there next to you guys?
Say it again.
Where are you going to have the vendors and the main stage?
All outside. It's all over Depot Street.
Yeah.
Oh, so are they closing Depot Street for it?
Well, we were going to close it, but we decided not to because all the parking is right there. If we close it, we have to close it at both ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we worked it out to where we have these high pitched tents that are set up in the grass areas, and right behind Freshwood Pizza, there'll be there's an opening right there for a tent spot.
Right,
So
right, yeah.
it'll be
By the bike
all
place.
over
Yeah.
Depot Street, like outside, and some of it will take place in Grime. And then, of course, Sunday we'll have some yoga by Lamont in the morning, and then we'll have some devotionals, like award ceremonies for community awards, and then Clarence will be doing his seafood boil. So we've been talking to Clarence and getting him excited, and he's really excited about it, and he is ready to rock it out. Like, he's ready to go for it.
Cool.
So it's gonna be good, and that's just all in commemorating of Juneteenth, which is celebration of Black lives and people who are free and set free, and it is a celebration all over Asheville. There are multiple events that are taking place, but most importantly, the Black Wall Street that we are honoring, because even in Tulsa there was some phenomenal food spots that were in the hotels. I mean, the food was great back then. It's probably interesting to even look at some of the restaurants they had back then in the 1920s, in the turn of the century. But we just want to honor Black Wall Street because of the horrific history of it, and at the same time saying, hey, we know this happens, we want to recognize it, but we also want to say that we are celebrating new life and how we're moving forward as a community together. So it is truly an event for those who are free, and it's also welcoming everyone in and say, hey, celebrate with us.
I love it. I love it, Bruce. That's perfect.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
That's why I wanted you to come on the show, is to tell us all of that about June 18th weekend and what y'all got going on at Grime Fest and stuff. And I actually just yesterday looked up, like, what were the restaurants in Tulsa that were destroyed in the massacre, and there were quite a few, and there were actually quite a few cafes, and the cafe meaning like little place to eat usually. And so I took this, I don't know if you guys saw what I posted yesterday, was this really cool 3D virtual tour you could take of that. Is it called the Greenwood neighborhood? And as you're scrolling through the story, it's a New York Times story about it. As you scroll down, the screen actually moves you through the neighborhood, and different buildings would light up, and it would tell you like who owned this business and what the business was. It blew my mind, and I recommend it very much. I learned a ton about the people and the actual individual people and the businesses in that area from this little 3D model, which is still on my Facebook page if you want to see it. I mean, I personally feel like Juneteenth is that's the real holiday to celebrate the freedom here in America. That's when freedom. Yeah, that's when it really started. So all of that's really exciting. I'm of course excited about the seafood boil.
Yeah.
And what food trucks are you going to have, Bruce?
Well, so we actually even partner with the Pink Dog Collective there. So you have Freshwood Pizza, and you have the one down there. Is it Vivian's? Yeah, Vivian. Yeah. Vivian's so good. We ate there. They welcomed us to the neighborhood. So good.
Their food.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! It's some of the best food in town.
Yes, it's so great. Check it out. I know I will go again. So we partnered with some of them. We're gonna have some. There is a Black-owned ice cream like truck that is coming and pulling up. It's called Creamy.
Creamy? I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. They're gonna be there. We'll have, of course, you'll have Clarence with his food truck with the seafood boil, and we're still in the process of determining others because so many people have hit us up. So we're going to have some of the people from the cohort cook. So some of the African cuisines from Kente Kitchen and Millicent and her Caribbean dishes will be there as well. So there'll be a mixture of flavor from all over, just amazing cuisines and dishes all over. It'll be great.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. I am personally very excited that this is happening, and it's right in my neighborhood, so I can walk on down, load up with food, and then have a good time, hang out, meet some people.
And it's the 18th, 19th, and 20th of June, so that's not too far from now.
No, it's not. And we just got the 1-minute warning from Davine. So, Bruce, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I'd love to have you come back and talk about food again and do the whole wing thing and everything with us again. And I'd love also to get Jay on the show. And today we didn't have our sometime tertiary host Luis, and so we had an extra little. We could have fit Jay on here, so we'll get rid of Luis another time and have both you and Jay back. Or we could get rid of Rick. Don't tell him I said that.
Man, I'll go.
No, I told you, Rick. Don't go anywhere. And Rick, thank you for being on the show, and thanks to Davine for producing, and for anybody and everybody who was watching and listening. And everybody go to Juneteenth, Grime Fest, and check out Clarence's Fresh Fish Boil and all the other food trucks and the morning yoga. Yoga at sunrise, is that what it is?
Yeah, at 11. But yeah, it's pretty close.
That's sunrise for me.
Sunrise for Stu.
Yeah. I'm an early riser. Don't let my slovenly appearance fool